I'm Selna Kim, America's face of dating, and today we have a very powerful video to do, and it's about how to not make your conversations, whether that's in person or over texting, dry. And so I'm going to give you some tricks and some examples that I actually did with a phone session client the other day that are very, very good. But the question of the day is by XOXOZV by. Yes, it's a mouthful, but I'm probably just going to call him XO, like the weekend XO. And so he asked me how to not make the messages dry. Really, that was just a simple question right there. And here's the thing is that when you're talking to a girl, if you're flirting with her in person, then you should be able to do that over texting. They're very, very similar. It's just literally just you're over the phone this time. If she's interested in you, if she's chasing you, then you should be able to flirt with her over text and in person. And so it's like you want to take the stuff that I give you and apply it in person and over texting. The stuff that I talk about in my book is not just for in-person conversation. You can apply the stuff I talk about in my book. You can apply that over texting too. Is that it's just concept. You just apply it whenever you're talking to somebody. You want to apply those concepts. It's very, very simple. And so all I have to do is just understand the concepts. And so what I mean with that is like if you're talking to a girl in person and you're flirting with her, then you should be able to just do that over texting because she's going to test you in person and she's going to test you over texting. It doesn't change, right? It doesn't change just because there's a screen in your way. The way that you communicate with her is practically the same way that you communicate with her in person, okay? And so if you know how to talk to her in person, then you know how to talk to her over texting. And so it's like, I'm not just going to give you texting tips, but it's like, this is stuff like the texting tips I gave you, you can apply that stuff to in-person conversation. And so it's not just one or the other. If you're good at one, then you're going to be good at both of them, right? Because it's just talking to somebody, but with a screen in the way. And some tips, like I really love these examples because I was doing a phone session with a client the other day, and he was giving me these tests that when we're saying to him in conversation, we're working on his bantering, his flirting skills, and I absolutely love these examples because he was like, okay, what would you say if a girl said this to you? And I was like, I'd say this. And he was like, oh my God, that's really good. And he was writing all these down. And so here's what I would say, like, let's give you some examples here. Let's give you some examples because girls, they're going to talk to you the same way in person as they do over texting. If they're going to test you in person, they will over texting at the same time. And so you're going to get these. So he asked me, so he was at the club apparently, and this girl was awkwardly, so he's sitting at this table with his friends, and they had like drinks at the table. And this girl came up next to him, he said, and she was awkwardly just kind of standing there. And he's like, well, what would you have said to that? And I'd have been like, I would have turned to her and I'd have been like, so do you like always do this? Do you awkwardly just stand by men and stare at them? And you know, that's a funny way to open somebody because she's just standing right here, right? She's standing right next to you, kind of just awkwardly staring at you. And he said apparently like when he opened her, when he started talking to her, she was like, I have a boyfriend, right? I have a boyfriend. It's like he didn't even say anything. She just automatically assumed that he was hitting on her, right? Because that's what most girls assume whenever you slide into their DMs or you go talk to them at the bar or the club. Most girls just automatically assume that you're hitting on them. And most guys just fall right into that frame. That's the girl's frame. But is that a huge assumption? Guy goes up to talk to a girl in the club. She assumes that he is automatically trying to sleep with her. That's a fucking huge assumption. That is massive. And so what I always train guys to do is that when she hits you with the like, I have a boyfriend line, and you just started talking to her, you gotta look at her and be like, whoa, like I wasn't asking you to marry me. I'm just trying to have a conversation with you, right? Make it seem like she's like, whoa, that was a huge assumption right there, girl. Like let's take it back to what we're actually doing here, right? And a lot of the times you'll see that these girls don't have a boyfriend. They just throw that as you as a test. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't, but they'll throw it at you as a test to see how you react to that. Because if she's like, oh, I have a boyfriend, I'd have been like, whoa, like slow down. Let's have a conversation first before we talk about labels, right? It's a hilarious comeback to do to girls. But anyways, he said that he asked her, he's like, do you want a drink? And she was like, no, I have a boyfriend. But here's what I would have said to that, is that if I asked her, I was like, do you want a drink? Because she's standing here awkwardly, and you open her and you're just like, do you want a drink? And she's like, no, it's okay. I would have been like, good. I wasn't offering anything anyway. And that's hilarious because it's like, if she's like, no, I'm good, then you're like, okay, I wasn't offering anything anyway. You like smirk back at her like you're playing with her, right? That she's probably gonna laugh at you and open up to you and start talking to you. Here we go. If she says, if you ask her, do you want a drink? Let's say you open her again. Do you want a drink? And she's like, sure. What do you got? Or like, sure. I'd be like this. I'd be like, oh, okay, well, the bar's over there. It's a hilarious way to just interact with women because remember, women are about emotion. They're about how you make them feel. And if she senses that you're just playing with her, that you're flirting with her, then she's gonna react to you very fucking well. And that's how you gotta do that every single time. And so it's like, it's like she tells you, let's go over that one more time. She's like, you're just like, so do you want a drink? And she's like, yeah. And you're just like, okay, well, the bar's over there. And you stare at her. She's probably gonna laugh at you and be like, oh, asshole. And he apparently, so there was this girl, and she came up to him apparently, and she was like, I have 500,000 TikTok followers. Oh, big deal, right? Oh, wow. And so she was obviously trying to brag. She was trying to show off. And I was like, trust me, I've gotten so many models, I've gotten so many actresses that have come up to me and tried to brag to get me, to be impressed with them, right? Like, oh, I have this, I have that. And my favorite comeback to this is something I heard from Jason Capital. Actually, I didn't invent it. I wish I did. I wish I could say I invented this line because it's gold. It's a gold mine. When a girl comes up and she tries to supplicate to you, she tries to get you to, like, oh, be impressed by her achievement of 500,000 TikTok followers, let's say. Like, I've had that happen, really had that happen, like, weekly. I just pull out that line where I'm just like, I'll be like this. So a girl comes up to you, she's like, oh, I have 500,000 TikTok followers, like, I'm the best, right? And you're just like, oh, that's really cool, but I'm still not going to sleep with you tonight. And you just stare at her. It's literally gold. So it's like, you can apply that with texting too, because the girl could be like, oh, I have 500,000 TikTok followers. And you text her back and you're just like, wow, like that's really impressive. It's really cool. But I'm still not going to sleep with you tonight. You just smirk at her and you just wink at her. And she's going to be like, oh my God, this guy's the real fucking deal. If you can respond like that. So what are most guys like? When a girl's like, oh, I have 500,000 TikTok followers. They're just like, oh my gosh, really? Like, that's so fucking cool. Like, let me see, like, show me, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, no, don't fucking do that shit. Don't supplicate to her. She doesn't deserve that shit, okay? She has 500,000 other people that are drooling all over her. Why should you be the 500,001st person to do that? No, you don't do that. You be the first person that treats her how she fucking needs it. That you treat her like she's a woman. That you make her chase you. It doesn't matter if she has 500,000 followers, 1 million, 10 million. If she's fucking Kim Kardashian, you talk to her the same. You make her chase you. You make her supplicate to you. It doesn't matter what the fuck it is. I'll pull that line out on fucking anybody. I'm like, that's really impressive. Like Kim Kardashian. I'm like, that's really impressive, Kim. But I'm not gonna sleep with you tonight. So, just for your warning. And she's gonna be like, oh my God, like, I never get talked to like this. Every guy's usually fucking drooling all over me. He said this, so this one was hilarious too. He said, girl says, it's my birthday. My response is, cool, what'd you buy me? Very simple, right? Girl texts you, it's my birthday. Text her back, oh, nice, what'd you get me? She's gonna be like, no, you're supposed to give me something. Then you start bantering back and forth. It's that fucking easy. You just jump right into it just like that. There's no warming up that needs to happen. There's no fucking stretching the muscles that need to happen. You jump right into it because that's how it fucking works. And then you get her on a date. And you talk to her like this in person then, after you get her on a date through texting. Here we go. Girl says, I can't sleep. This is common. You get this over texting a lot. I can't sleep. Girl texts you late at night. Hey, you up? I can't sleep. You say, yeah, I have that effect on people. You smirk at her. You just sit there and wait for it, right? Just sit there just like, yeah, I have that effect on people. You like look away maybe. Let's see. Another one. Girl's at the club, right? Girl's at the club. She's kind of unsure about a guy. She texts him, you can come see me, but only bad things happen at this time. It's 2 a.m., right? That's what he says in parentheses. It's 2 a.m. What my response to that was, don't worry, I'll keep you under control. Basically saying like, yeah, you're going to be the one that's trying to come on to me, but I'm going to keep you under control because, like, I'm going to keep myself under control. But like, just me being me, it's going to make you like want to maul me like a fucking lion and a gazelle. And so I'm going to keep you under control. Like, don't worry. Like, you're putting this frame on her that she's the one that's more into you than you are into her, and that she's going to try to hit on you. And girls absolutely eat that shit up like it's fucking candy. Like it's fucking chocolate. Girls love when guys put that frame onto them that it's like she's hitting on him more than he's hitting on her, right? She's basically saying here, like, look at this frame. You can come see me, but only bad things happen at this time. She's automatically assuming, look at this fucking shit. This is real shit that happens in real interactions between men and women. Look at this shit. She says, you can come see me, but only bad things happen at this time. It's 2 a.m. Look, she is automatically assuming that just because you're going to come see her as a guy, that you're going to try to put your dick in her. That's basically what she's saying here, that you're going to try to sleep with her just because it's late at night. That's her assumption, right? And as a man, it's your job to take that big fucking assumption and just deflate it, right? Just deflate it, because it's a test. That's what a test is. She's like, oh, you're going to try to sleep with me. That's what her assumption is. Oh, you're going to try to sleep with me because it's late at night. Only bad things happen this late at night. And you're just like, don't worry. I'll keep you under control. You're basically saying, like, nothing's going to happen. I'm not going to let anything happen because no access allowed, baby. No access allowed to this, okay? It doesn't matter how bad you want it. It doesn't matter how much you beg for it. Not going to happen. And what does that create? A challenge, right? You tell her, I'm going to keep you under control. It's a challenge now. She's like, well, I don't want to be I don't want to be under control now. Now I want to fuck you. Now I'm going to make you fuck me. I'm just like, damn, girl, like, slow down. Jesus, can we just talk about our favorite colors or something like that? So you can do that over texting as well. It's fucking beautiful. Beautiful. Her. This was hilarious. This is like kind of like a story. Like, this is like a setup. And so girl says, are you going to buy me a drink? Oh no, she says, are you just going to sit there and look pretty, or are you going to buy me a drink? And most guys will be like, okay, I'll buy you a drink. Right, I'll buy you a drink. Okay, because if I buy you a drink, then you're going to like me. No, that's not how it fucking works. Sorry. I've seen it happen to many guys. Many guys have gotten fucking walked all over in the clubs. I used to be a club promoter. I'd see it this was a typical Tuesday, bro. A typical fucking Tuesday. Guys would get walked all over in the club because they buy a girl a drink and she'd be like, thanks, see you later, and goes and fucks another guy. Like, it's just like, come on, man. Like, don't buy girl drinks in the club, okay? Make them buy you the drink. You're the prize. She's not the prize. You're the fucking prize. She says, are you just going to sit there and look pretty, or are you going to buy me a drink? And I'd be like, well, I'd lean back and I'd be like, depends on the drink you want. Most girls would be like, oh, like, get me a vodka cranberry. And I'd be like, oh, what are you, a fucking grandma? Right? You start teasing her. And then after you start bantering back and forth, she forgets about the drink. And then when the conversation dies down a little bit, then you look at her and you're just like, so, you're going to sit there and look pretty? You're going to buy me a drink? And you just smirk at her. It's just, oh my God, dude. Like, I can't even believe I'm giving this shit away for free, dude. Like, this is fucking amazing. Like, dude, you got to read my fucking book. Because, like, this is, like, a typical, like 3 pages for me. Like, this is, like, the shit I talk about, like, the wittiness that I create. It's just a typical, like I said, it's a typical Tuesday. Like, in this book, dude, like, I could probably find, like, one page and be like, okay, there is something on this page right now that... Literally right here, yeah. Like, literally, it's just flirting, just teaching you how to flirt and banter with women that's going to make them chase you. Like, if you haven't gotten the book, I really don't know what you're doing. Like, honestly, like, look at what I'm giving you right now. This is brilliant content right here. So, girl, last one. So, girl says, that sounds like a you problem. And he was like, how do I respond to this? And I looked at him, I was like, dude, all you got to say is, well, it's going to be a me and you problem if you come join me. As simple as that. It's fucking gold, dude. It's just a gold mine. So that was the final one. You can apply these to both in-person and texting because it's both the same, okay? You're still talking to her. It's just through messages. You just gotta make her see it through like a little wink, like the semicolon and the smiley face. Don't use the wink emoji, okay? It's like what fucking 4th graders do. Use the parenthesis semicolon with the wink, and you do it backwards, not like the normal one. Like you see in my comment, like on my TikTok videos and everything. And so, on that note, if you want to work with me one-on-one, then DM me on Instagram and be like, hey, I want to work with you one-on-one, and I will see if you qualify to work with me one-on-one if I can fit you in my schedule. I'm booked about 10 days in advance. But also, if you need help, then you have to jump into my AMP installment, dude. Like, literally, I talk about this shit more in depth. I literally have a video coming out there where it's about how to swipe up the DMs because I had the AMP installment members. They sent me pictures of like stories on Instagram, and they'd be like, how would you swipe up to make this conversation flirty and make her get with you in person? And so I go through it, and I'm like, okay, I'd say this would be the best position to say this here. I go through the conversation of what would probably happen. And so on that note, get inside of those 2 things right there, the book and the program. I'm Selna Kim, America's face of dating, and I will see you next time.